I'm house sitting for the weekend, and it is time for a weekend reading vlog. I thought it had cheese. I have on The Nanny. It's my comfort show. I'm currently listening to the audiobook for Elizabeth of East Hampton. I'm loving it. It is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And let me tell you, if you have not listened to this book or read the book, you're missing out. So, I am about, I don't know, maybe 50% of the way through Elizabeth of East Hampton, and it's really hard to talk about this book and not spoil Pride and Prejudice, but I feel like at this point everyone has some kind of relationship with Pride and Prejudice. If you don't, I'm not sure how you've made it this far in your life and have nothing to do with Pride and Prejudice. This book takes place around the summertime in the Hamptons, and the Bennet family own a bakery on Main Street. And one day, these two men walk in, and Elizabeth can tell that they are like businessy men. And so little does Elizabeth know that these two men are going to turn her world upside down. So Charlie and Darcy walk into the bakery, and they ask for a bar recommendation, and Lizzie tells them a bar that is kind of like more higher class, more of probably what they're looking for, and Will says, no, we want one with like authentic, is it Will or Charlie? One of them says, no, we want like authentic flavor. And so Lizzie sends them to a bar that all the locals go to, and that is where Charlie meets her sister Jane and is very smitten right off the bat. And Will does not seem to be impressed by Lizzie at all, but if you've watched any of the Pride and Prejudice, if you've read Pride and Prejudice, we know that Darcy and Lizzie have this back and forth, and so the whole question of will they, won't they is huge for this couple in any rendition, and so that's kind of where we are. I'm 50% of the way through. We're kind of at the fallout of, does she love him, does she not? And how does Charlie move on if she doesn't? So that's where we are in Elizabeth of East Hampton. But the other book that I want to get read in this reading vlog is Emma M. Lyon. I really believe I can finish it. These are two books that are on my August TBR. I have the whole weekend to get some good reading done. So I'm gonna drink my coffee, I'm gonna go take a shower, and I will probably do something for dinner. I don't know what I'm doing yet. And then probably I'll find some kind of movie to watch. I really am like, I've really fallen into the rabbit hole of Dawson's Creek. I watched it a little bit growing up. It's just not something I watched a lot of. It wasn't like in my wheelhouse. So now as I'm older and kind of looking for things to watch, it popped up on Disney the other day, and I was like, I haven't watched this in years. I should go back and watch it. And so I'm either going to watch that or one of my favorite TV shows that used to be on ABC Family, and I have looked for it off and on for years when I think about it, is the TV show Greek. It just follows the life of these two girls in a sorority and these three guys in a fraternity. I think it's three. And just kind of follows that life of them through college. I think there's 4 seasons or 5 seasons, which is accurate because that's what college would be. So I don't know if I'm gonna watch Greek or if I'm gonna watch Dawson's Creek, or I may just turn on a movie that I've not watched in a little while. I don't know yet, but I've been just like really nostalgic in TV lately and wanting that comfort that a lot of the modern shows don't offer. So I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna listen to some more of Elizabeth of East Hampton, and then I will meet up with you guys in a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, I've taken my shower. I am waiting on my pizza. I ordered Jed's Pizza, and they have the best antipasto salad. Antipasto. think that's how you pronounce it. So I'm just waiting on the pizza to arrive. I'm doing some editing and listening to my audiobook. I am now 70% of the way through Elizabeth of East Hampton, and I'm officially to where Darcy and Elizabeth are together, or at least they are for right now. Of course, it's 70% of the way through. There's still a lot of story to tell. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. There's still some unanswered questions. Like, there's still quite a bit that has not been talked about yet. I'm still enjoying it. I am feeling like this is going to be maybe a 4.25, 4.5 star. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards a 4.25. I can't really explain why. It's just giving me that feeling. It's not giving me a 5-star, like, absolute must-read feeling. I say that. I've thought about Emma of 83rd Street a lot. Like, I think of that book a lot. And I think I rated that book pretty high. I don't remember. But this book, for some reason, is just not giving me those same feelings. So once I get to the end, I will update you with my final thoughts. But for now, I'm like at a 4.25 is kind of where I'm feeling it landing. But we'll see. 70% of the way through. I hope to finish it tonight, and then I will get to reading Emma M. Lyon as I eat dinner and watch, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I haven't even turned on the TV. I've been editing and clearing off my phone because it's full and needs some new storage space. So I will meet up with you guys when dinner gets here. So I have breadsticks and this antipasto salad, and that is dinner.
Previously on Dawson's Creek. So how's it going? Billy Conrad.
So I'm going to talk to you really quick before I go to bed. I have on The Nanny. It's my comfort show. I like to watch it every night. Something about Fran's voice just like really puts me to sleep. I guess it's just the comfort of nostalgia. I don't know. I don't know why her voice is so comforting to me, but it is. So I have 2 hours in listening to the audiobook of Elizabeth of East Hampton. And let's be honest, I hate a third act breakup. And I'm not spoiling it because it is a remake of Pride and Prejudice. And we all know how the story of Darcy and Elizabeth go. But I just... third act breakups feel not sloppy or lazy. It just feel it's a trope for a reason, right? Like, it's stereotypical. It's a trope. Communication, one phone call would have fixed a lot of things. A quick text messages could have fixed a lot of communication issues. I've picked up Emma M. Lyon, and I just, every time I try to read it, I can feel myself trying to slump with it. And so I don't know what that is. So tomorrow we're going to do some book shopping, and I hope I'll finish Elizabeth of East Hampton because I have some like chores and some things I need to do. And then we're going to do some book shopping tomorrow, and maybe that will help us find a book to read because I don't know, something about Emma M. Lyon is making me feel a little slumpy, and I don't know if it's my slump coming on or if that book is just not for me. So I'm going to try to find something that maybe will interest me and help me stay out of a reading slump. But we'll just have to wait and see. I take a shot every time I said slump just now. I don't know why I said it so many times. But so far it's been a productive vlog. We had dinner. We watched some Dawson's Creek. But I'm almost through season 1, and wow, I have like the craziest bed hair right now, and I've not even gone to bed yet. I just washed it earlier. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight's check-in. And I'm gonna watch some Nanny, cuddle with Chewy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna make some coffee. And I'm going to turn on my audiobook. I told you guys last night before I went to bed that I was 75 or 80% of the way through my book, and that's still true. I didn't listen to anything last night. I turned on The Nanny and I fell asleep, and that's just what I needed. So today my plan is to finish Elizabeth of East Hampton. I think I have like 2 hours of listening left, and I will have that finished. And I told you guys yesterday that for some reason, every time I pick up Emma M. Lyon, I feel myself getting a little slumpy. So today what I think I'm gonna do is find a indie bookstore in town and see if I can find a book that will help me, that I'm interested in, that's not gonna make me feel slumpy. I don't know why. I don't know if it's not the right time for me to read Emma M. Lyon, or if it's just a book I'm not really interested in. I don't know what the deal is. So that's the plan, is to drink some coffee, get some work done this morning, finish my audiobook, and then we're gonna go book shopping. So I'll see you in a little bit. It's time to go book shopping. To go in there. That's our next spot. So I didn't find anything in Burke's bookstore, but I could tell that it's like you come one day, you don't find anything, you come another day and you find all the things you want. So we're gonna go to a cafe right now. I did buy 2 books at Novel. I just finished listening to Elizabeth of East Hampton. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna start, what audiobook I wanna start next. Let's get to the cafe. Okay. We're gonna run back to Novel because there's a book I've been wanting and I kind of forgot about it till I was watching Sarah's vlog and she's reading it. So we're gonna run back to Novel, pick up the book, and I think that's gonna be what I start tonight. I have my lunch and a coffee and I got a little treat. I'm right here by my favorite donut shop and it's taking everything in me not to stop and get a donut. But I already have a treat from this place, so I don't need a donut. I don't need to go to Gibson's. But if you're ever in the Memphis area, Gibson's Donut is the place to go. You get any type of donut, and then they serve, you can get a glass, or you can get a container of milk. I'm telling you, it's the way to do it. So let's go back to Novel, pick up the correspondent, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, we're back at the house. Let's go through the treats that we bought first, and then we'll go through the books. So first thing, we got an iced vanilla latte. Now an iced vanilla latte is always the first thing I try at a new coffee shop or donut shop, because if you can't do an iced vanilla latte right, I'm skeptical of the other things. Okay, it's pretty average, an iced vanilla latte. So I have 2 like food things, and then I have a donut. This is a scallion. I forgot what it was called. I thought it had cheese, but I guess I'm wrong. So it's just like a yeast roll with some butter and sesame on top and some scallion. That's all that is. It's good, but I thought it was filled. The second foodie thing that I got is it's a chicken and cheese, or it's a cheese chicken sandwich. So it has mozzarella on top, as you can tell. There's some kind of cheese in there, and I guess this is chicken. And then I guess that's a marinara on the inside. Let's give it a try. Okay. Weird. Like, the chicken almost tastes like chicken McNuggets from McDonald's. And obviously I know they're not, but it almost tastes like that. And the roll or the bread is kind of sweet. Maybe if I warmed it, it would be better. Then we had this donut. This is a Korean filled donut. So I got the chocolate. I'm gonna open it so you guys can see. Oh, yum. That is a filled donut for sure. Okay, so the Korean stuffed donut, definitely worth going for. The other foodie things, I think once my chicken cheese sandwich is hot or at least warm, I'm gonna enjoy that more. But let's talk about the 3 books I bought. So, novel. 2 of these books were on the discount section, which I love. I love a discount section at a bookstore. So the first book I got is called The Half Moon, and it is about Malcolm, a handsome and gregarious bartender. Now, if that's not a way to introduce someone, I don't know what is. But he bartends at Half Moon, and he's always dreamed of owning his own bar. And so one day, the bar comes up for sale, and he is given the opportunity to buy the bar, and so he does. And over the course of a week, Malcolm finds out some secrets about his wife, Jess. There's a patron of the bar that goes missing, and there's a blizzard, and it locks everyone into the bar. So I think this is going to be so fun. It feels kind of like if you grew up in the Christian world, around the 90s, 2000s, lock-ins were a really big thing. This feels a little bit like a lock-in, only they're at a bar, and all of these secrets of the small town come out, and what can forgiveness do for people. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The second book is called Summer Darlings, and this one, I haven't heard, neither of these books have I seen or heard people talk about at all, really. But this is set in the 1960s, and it follows our heroine Hetty, and she is wanting to go to school at Wellesley, and so she has to figure out how to get the funding for her schooling, so she becomes a nanny for this rich socialite family in New York. Is that where they sent her? Martha's Vineyard. So she nannies for this family in Martha's Vineyard. And so she finds herself wanting to fit in with the couple's social circle. And so I think it's just going to be a really good commentary on like what we think we want, and can money and greed and all the things really give us what we're wanting. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited that it's set on Martha's Vineyard. I think it's gonna be really great. Now the final book I bought, this one I bought new. I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and I told you guys a few minutes ago that I was gonna go back and novel and get this book. It is The Correspondent. I'm trying to think. I don't remember who I saw talking about it, but I saw I think it may have been Rachel Catherine. It was either Rachel Catherine or Sarah, but I don't remember, and I don't remember a whole lot about it. So I think this is going to be the book that I start tonight. I think this is going to be the book I start after I have my lunch. And so I will join back with you guys in a little bit. Oh, I finished listening to the audiobook of Elizabeth of East Hampton. Elizabeth is a character that I can really relate to. I think she was so fun. I think she has a lot of ambitions, and she just didn't know how to tell her family no. When she meets Darcy, she kind of sees the things that she wants her life, not her life to be, but she kind of sees the freedom that she is not giving herself. And so that is one reason they kind of go at it a little bit. But overall, I think last night I told you I was leading at like a 4.25. I'm at a solid 4.5 stars for this book. I really liked it. And I think Darcy was very sure of himself. So because Darcy has to be in control all the time, we saw him almost lose everything. This was a great read. I would check out the trigger warnings if you are sensitive to open door spice, because there are 2 scenes. I think the story was fast-paced. I think the language was right on par for what it should have been. I think there were a lot of characters, and so that can be a little bit tricky keeping up with who is who's and the connection to who's. but the original Pride and Prejudice also had a lot of people and was also written in a different syntax, and so this modern retelling is definitely easier to keep up with than the original Pride and Prejudice. So I'm gonna get some work done, I'm gonna have lunch, and then I will meet up with you guys in a little bit when we read again. So I'm gonna schedule out some church content for the rest of August. That's always my goal, is to be like 1 month ahead. And while I'm doing that, I am listening to / watching Sarah's video about Fable choosing her TBR for the week. I have not read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry yet, but her opinion on it, I've heard other people talk about that it is not their favorite Emily Henry book. I haven't started it yet. Maybe September TBR. Maybe this September TBR, I don't know. But I'm gonna schedule out church content, listen to Sarah, probably watch a Rachel Catherine video too, I like her, and then I will come back to you and we'll talk about what we're reading. Okay, so other than like me eating the rest of my salad for dinner, that's the end of this vlog. It's 6 o'clock. I read, what did I read in this vlog? I read Elizabeth of East Hampton, and I started Anne of Avenue A, which is a persuasion retelling. I think I'm like an hour into the audiobook. And then I also started to read The Correspondent, but I think what book is really calling my attention is Summer Darlings. So I think I'm gonna start Summer Darlings tonight. I don't know, it's so interesting. It's set in the summer, it's 1962. School starts back on Monday. I think I'm just craving like some final bits of summer. So I'm gonna go with Summer Darlings, and I'm gonna leave you guys here. I'm so glad you stayed and watched my weekend reading vlog. It was a lot of fun. I will be doing these more often. I forgot how much I love just like a quick weekend reading vlog. If you have stayed until this part, post that, just send me a blue heart, and I will talk to you guys next week.